think just like Dom's outfit, they're not always pretty. Sometimes they're really ugly. But
Just been all over Amazon and just about every site looking for these mustard pants. And,
my wife will tell you she wants to burn mine.
People actually listen to your show.
They watch.
They
Yeah, I
watch
told
it.
you. Yeah.
play defense in that first half like Dom transitions to you after the game. It's way too long, way too lazy, but
You got all these answers. I'm going to bring you over and have you do our non-conference schedule.
I'd love to. I'd love to go to Grand Canyon,
I would
man.
love.
Hey,
well,
you're
you
doing
can
that
come with.
game.
That's not the thing.
I love when you're on Dom. You're so transparent. And I'm like, so two things are happening. That one, people are watching your show,
Yes,
listening.
yes.
Right? That
Yep.
caught me a little off guard. I'm just being honest.
And we do this segment a little bit earlier than normal because the man is in the airport. As he told me, if his bag gets called, he's got to go. There he is. Men's basketball head coach David Richman joins us from the airport after NDSU's big win last night. Congratulations. Tell me, how much were you sweating the last 30 seconds last night?
I think the fact that we're doing the Zoom just understates the importance that you are in your show, right? I literally called up the CEO of United and said, "Hey, can you delay our flight a little bit?" Just, the for me, it's just such an honor to be on this
I
show
know,
with you.
I
and
know.
and all the other things that you have going on, like last week and all those things. Like for you to fit us in. It's so important that we got on
I knew that was
the
coming.
Delta. You knew it was coming. Of course you did. Yeah, I mean, it was certainly a little bit of a sweat going on, but I got a nice cold shower in the locker room afterwards by the fellas, so it was cooled off really quick.
How big a win is this, Dave? In the moment, we could overreact to it or just describe. I know it's the next one, but how you celebrate this one, right? For another at least few hours, correct?
Yeah, and I think that's something that I've been guilty of too, Dom. This is I'm not going to understate it. This is a really, really big win for our program. On the road against the Big East school, the history, tradition, the mystique of Hinkle, of Butler basketball, and the respect that I have, that we have for that. This is a program that beat Mississippi State this year. This is a very good team, and so this is a great win for us. It's a win that. Can create some buzz, can create some excitement, and do those things, But at the same sense, it's also, when we get back to practice tomorrow, there's not a banner going up that says, "Hey, on December 10th, you beat Butler," right? We need to take some things from this. Absolutely, we need to take the spirit, the joy, the confidence that we can do some special things this year, and then we need to fine tune it. We need to learn from it. We were absolutely terrific defensively, and Jakari was red hot in the first half. I thought some things slid away from us, and certainly those things are going to happen against bigger, longer bodies that you're going to face as you move up levels. But we need to own the things that we can continue to build at, and certainly I'm tremendously proud of all of our guys and just the great efforts, some unbelievable individual efforts, and. But I think the cool thing is you just got a really connected group that's excited about, who we are and what we're doing.
So it's 67-62 Butler with 3 minutes to go, media timeout. What did you notice anything? Did you say anything because Jackson Money then goes crazy over the next 2.5 minutes?
Yeah, and gosh, you're right. I mean, it just feels like you're done at those times, or it could feel like you're done. And Wes Offerman brought it up to me too. Is just I think some of our past experiences have allowed us to stay present in those moments. And we talked about it. We put it on the board at the beginning of the game. We talked about it at halftime. Embrace the hard. All right, these are hard moments. Like how are you going to respond? There's still a lot. It feels like the world is collapsing on you in those moments. It does, but then you take a breath and you realize, oh. We're down 5. Put yourself in that situation before the game started, and you're down 5, 2 minutes, 50 seconds left. How would you feel? And Jackson just delivered some big gut shots, right? And we were able to respond. I thought we made some plays finally defensively with Jackson's great on both ends of the floor.
Yeah,
he got some big rebounds and made some big plays and certainly came out of there a really happy unit.
The timeout, Dave, with 30 seconds to go. Jackson ISO there. Was that designed going his way where you say clear out, we want him with the ball?
We've done things like that to just try to I hate to say ISO, but
Yeah.
take what they're going to give us a little bit. It's just how our system has been, playing. That the timeout was more to get the right personnel that we felt on the floor needed to create space, to create options to do those things. Just with the way Butler was defending us and put ourselves in the best position to be successful. And that was a tricky one too. Usually I take timeouts home with me, at night, and those things. I don't always love them, but just felt like it was such a crucial time and space to that we needed those points, and we need the right personnel on there, and then we executed some things not perfectly down the stretch, but certainly well enough.
You got to be smiling as well as defensive coach that you are, that you won the game with a defensive stand at the end.
Absolutely, and gosh, that not foul situation that we were in, and with 13 seconds to go, and Jackson made the right play, immediately fouled, and
Right.
sure enough, they get that offensive rebound, and we had talked about that, like they'd just been kicking our tails on the offensive glass. Is this a smart thing to do? And then now you're only up 2, and you got to guard, and we did, and I just. We talked to the guys a lot about the Weber State victory and just different things like why is it tough and together that are our core values? Why does coach always talk about grit? Everybody's trying to do the same thing. They're trying to put the ball in the hole on one end of the floor and not let the opponent do it. But to me, it's how you practice those things. It's the early mornings, right? That are uncomfortable. It's the extra lines that are uncomfortable. It's coach getting after you a little bit that are uncomfortable to make you be locked in, focused, tough enough, together enough in those tough, critical situations. And certainly we were last night.
You've been around some crazy performances. Ben Woodside's 60-point game. Jakari's first half, where does that one rank in the list of great performances you've had a front row seat to witness?
I don't think I realized it in the moment. I really don't. But, I don't know what the kids call it anymore. I just know, I've heard the term in the zone. It was remarkable, and Coach Mata caught me after the press conference and said, I don't know if I've seen anything like that either. What Jakari did in the first half. And you think about everything, right? But I think in particular that shot he hit it right at the buzzer, pretty much at the buzzer at the end of the first half, and they've got one guy guarding him, 2 guys running at him.
Yeah.
And he makes that, and we go up 3 more points. Look at the final score now, right? And so the magnitude of that shot, just really, really proud of that young man. I go back to some difficult conversations that him and I have had each of the last 2 springs about what's right. And I really challenged him about sinking roots deeper into Fargo and into NDSU, into our program, and allowing you to blossom up on the surface. And he really did that. He got challenged after the Northern Colorado game. I don't think he, played his best, took some ill-advised shots and some of those things too. And, but I know this, before we left Monday morning, a little after 7 o'clock, he was in the gym and getting shots up. And he's got the right mindset and understands that, you can't take anything for granted. You got to go out and grab it. You got to work for it. And I'm just extremely, extremely proud of Jakari White.
You are a football guy. When you saw Brennan Watkins last week at Weber State, was that about as gruesome a thing you've seen before?
That, like, on the court, that was pretty intense. I got to admit,
Yeah.
I still go back to the hotel room with Sam Griesel. That was just
Yep.
a really, really, really bad deal. But, you don't really. Okay, broken noses happen, right? I mean, and that's part of almost the badge of honor. But, like, he's got stitches because, again, not to get too gruesome, but by the way, but because the bone popped through the skin, right? And he's got black and blue eyes, and he wears a mask, and he's got a Band-Aid on there, and then I'm the jack, that played him for 20 minutes in the second half, didn't take him off the floor, and he's got 6 assists and only 2 turnovers against the team in the Big East who's got all kinds of length, strength, and athleticism. And so, Brennan is also somebody I think has really embraced who we are and what we're about. He's a really terrific basketball player. He's a hard worker. He hasn't, again, I'll say this, he hasn't experienced a whole bunch of that on-court team winning success. They didn't win at VMI very much the last couple of years, and he didn't maybe get over the hump in high school a couple times, and so we've challenged him on some of those winning plays, those toughness plays, and he's just really responded.
I know we visited after the game Saturday. You're in a stretch here where you're playing 5 games in 11 days.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to play again Friday. Is that, I don't know if the best thing, but okay, you know what? We put this to bed. We got to go right back out and play again on Friday afternoon.
I'll tell you Friday afternoon, right? And I mean that. Like, how are we going to handle this? How are we going to handle it tomorrow in practice? This is really what I'm focused on. We're not practicing a whole bunch. When we do practice, we're pretty short, sharp, and crisp. But we've got to take advantage of it because there's still opportunities to, just some guys to get some deeper rotation guys, some minutes and some execution things. There's other moments where maybe a couple guys don't need to practice as much, but we are what we are right now. We are who we are right now, and in particular Friday and through Sunday, and but then finals week next week too. There's going to be some days too that I'm really really excited about, like next Wednesday when we can get back to some habits, some basics, and clean up some things that maybe we've just fallen, like it's just rightfully so. They've just fallen a little bit just because of the travel and the games that were being played. Like you said, like this was game 3 of a 5 games in 11-day stretch.
A couple questions left for Dave before his group number is called and he's got to get on the airplane. You got to.
Trust me, I'm not first class like you.
You're not group 1? Is that what you're telling me? You're not a group 1 guy?
They put group 1. They put you there so those yellow pants can be seen by everybody when they walk on the plane.
The pilots don't want to be distracted with that. I'm going to tell you that right now. They don't want any part of that. It's a noon game on Friday. Give me the genesis of this idea and what you hope to do with this maybe going forward.
Yeah, we're trying to create different ideas, Dom. We're trying to create different options for people to come out and have a burger and a beer for lunch, do those things, and maybe engage some youth in the community and do some things like that. As we've been around and you're picking up ideas and options from other programs. I know Jory did a good thing with their Drake game, getting some of those kids in there, and it's just the way it fits, and we, gosh. And I sound like North Dakota when I say gosh, but like I feel like we got a really, really good product down, and we're fun to watch, and we've got a beautiful facility, and we've got great character that reflects who the Red River Valley is, I think. And so we want to just really encourage people any way, shape, or form. Tell us what you need from us to get out there and get butts in the seats and support these guys. We've got. Sure, I get it. It's a non-division 1 game Friday afternoon, but then Sunday afternoon, we've got Western Michigan coming to town. The following weekend, Bakersfield team. Oh, wait till you see that. They're a really athletic unit that made some big shots against us. Like there's good Division 1 basketball in Fargo, North Dakota, and we're proud of who we are. We're proud to be competing in those type contests and those type games, and we want people to be proud of that and come out and see us and support us.
Last thing, I know how you and Brad Stevens are tight. You imagine he's not going to give you any phone calls back now after winning at his old school?
I've been doing this long enough. I hate it to be about me, but I think that's what made it a little bit, more special for me is just and it's not just, Coach Stevens, but, Will Beasley and the history and tradition of Butler basketball. That's a program, right? And that's a program that I was talking to their assistants that we have a lot of respect for. We emulate a lot of things of what they do and try to do off the court and who they bring onto the court and how they do things on the court. And so this, like the win is a great win, and it's a great win even more so because of the respect that we have for Butler and Butler basketball.
Did you take a minute just to look around? I know it's Hinkle Fieldhouse. You're a basketball rube at heart. Did you do that at all? I know you're a hardened Division I basketball coach. Did you just take a minute before the game?
Yeah, more so probably the day before.
On Monday?
Like again, like the culture guy that I am, there's on the wall, there's the Butler way, the quote and those things. So that really resonated with me. And but I think I try to do a better job than I've done of those things. But it's a business trip, and you're locked in. And I think it's important to how do I say this, to notice, to acknowledge different things like the history and tradition of some of those things, but you don't want to make it too big of a deal.
Yeah.
We again, that I hope this isn't an arrogant statement, but we knew if we were locked in and doing the best version of us, we had a real chance to win that thing. and you don't want to make it like this necessarily David Goliath, you got to pitch this perfect game kind of thing. And it really played out like that. We certainly weren't perfect in the second half, but we're still able to pull it out.
I really appreciate the time. Safe travels back, and we'll see you on Friday afternoon, okay?
Well, I sure hope we can get into your schedule at least a couple more times the rest of the season.
Thanks, Dave. Safe travels, bud.
See you
Congrats
later,
on the win,
Dom.
man. All right, take it easy. There he goes. Dave Richman, North Dakota State men's basketball head coach, joining us from the airport in Indianapolis. He's giving me a hard time because we had our signing day show. So he gets bumped, and then they beat Weber, and now they beat Butler. So he's never going to let me forget that. Let's just put it out there right now. We'll break. We come back. We'll wrap up our first hour. Second hour on tap with a closer look at the Mercer Bears who are coming to Fargo. Back on Hot Mic right after this.